Hello friends, today we are going to learn about the plan trust. Now plan trust is defined as the structure composed of numbers of straight, vertical, horizontal or inclined member with pin or hinge joint. It means each members are connected via pin or connected via hinge joint, and it creates the geometry, or we can say that the shape as a triangle. It means that the structure having the triangular geometry with inclined, horizontal or vertical member is known as the plan truss. Now for plan truss, forces are applied at joint only. It means that there isn't any load on the member of the truss. It means that if we have given the truss as having each the joints as a pin joint, as well as the second point indicates that force applied at joint only. It means that the external force is acting at only particular joints, not on the members. So each forces are on the joint only. Third point regarding the plan truss is members are subjected to axial compression or axial tension. So we can say that no shear or bending in the member. So for particular plan truss, each member can take only axial compression load or axial tensile load. It means pull or push along its length. It is used at factory sets, or we can say that the bridge truss at different types of the bridge. And the major point is maintenance, or we can say that the retrofitting of the truss members are very easy with compared to the frame structure. So these are the points regarding the plan truss. Now let us go ahead for the types of truss. Now types of truss is depends on numbers of member as a M, number of joint as a J, and small r as a equilibrium condition. And for the plan truss, total numbers of equilibrium condition available is 3, which is sigma h equal to 0, sigma v equal to 0, and moment at any point equal to 0. So we have to first calculate the numbers of member of the given truss, numbers of joint of the truss, and numbers of equilibrium condition available. Now going ahead for the types of truss, we have to first calculate M as well as 2j minus R, which is equal to 2j minus 3. Now according to the relation between numbers of member and 2j minus R, if M equal to 2j minus R or 2j minus 3, then the truss is known as the perfect truss. If M is less than 2j minus R or 2j minus 3, then the truss is defined as deficient truss, and if m is greater than 2j minus r or 2j minus 3, then it is known as the redundant truss. Now, perfect truss is the truss in which each the members and each reactions can be calculated by equilibrium condition alone, and for m less than 2j minus r, it indicates that the members are less than the required members, so that truss is determinate but unstable. And for m greater than 2j minus r, the truss is stable but it is indeterminate. While perfect truss can be determined as well as the stable truss. So let us take one example of each truss as, now if truss is given as in which numbers of members are 5, numbers of joint is 4, and number of equilibrium condition available is 3. In this case, our members value is equal to 2j minus r, hence the truss is defined as the perfect truss. If we going ahead for the deficient truss, then if the truss is given as, then for this case our member is 4, our joint is 4 and r is equal to 3. So for this case our m is less than 2j minus r, as the numbers of member is 4, while 2j it is 2 into 4 as a 8 and r as a 3. So 8 minus 3 as a 5. So member is less than 2j minus r, hence these types of truss is defined as the deficient truss. While for the redundant truss, if the truss is given as in this case our numbers of members are 6, number of equilibrium condition as a 3 and joints are 4. So in this case our m value is greater than 2j minus r, as 2j as a 8 and r as a 3, hence numbers of members 6, while 2j minus r as a 5. So member is greater than 2j minus r, hence our truss is defined as the redundant truss. So for the analysis of truss, first we have to define whether it is perfect truss, deficient truss or redundant truss, and after define the types of the truss, we have to select the method according to the truss. Let us go for the assumptions made for the analysis of the given truss are. Now going ahead for the assumptions made for the analysis of truss, first assumptions is now joints are pin or hinge only. It means that joints cannot create the moment. Now second assumption is it is each loads, or we can say that the external loads are acting on joint only. It means that there isn't any load on the member rather than the joints. Now third assumption is truss is perfect truss. It means that it must obey m is equal to 2j minus r condition. Now next assumption is members are subjected to axial compression or axial tension. It means that only axial action is there in the member, no shear force, no bending moment. Now fifth assumption is self weight of the members are neglected for the analysis purpose. It means that for the analysis we have to consider only external load as well as the reaction generated at the supports. And last assumptions is members are straight only, or we can say that either inclined, horizontal or vertical. So these are the assumptions for particular analysis of any truss. Now going ahead for the method of analysis of truss. Now for analysis purpose there are total 3 methods. First one is method of joint, in which we have to consider at each joint as a equilibrium state. It means that at each joint we have to take sigma fx equal to 0 and sigma fy equal to 0, and we have to find out all the member forces. Second method is method of section, in which we are going to take a section according to the rule and we are going to calculate the reaction as well as the member force by using sigma m equal to 0 in left hand portion or right hand portion of the section. And third method is graphical method. It means that in which we are going to use Bose notation as well as free body diagram, and according to the free body diagram we are going to calculate the member forces in each member of the truss. Now going ahead for the steps for the analysis of truss. For analysis of truss we have to remember some points which can help to analyze the given truss using method of joints or method of section. So first point to be remembered is take each member as compression or tension throughout analysis. It means that first we have to consider each member either in tension or in compression. So if we are going to assume the each member as a compression, then so first of all we have to consider each and every member of the truss in the compression according to the given arrowheads. And if we consider any joint, for example if we take the joint as indicated as a E joint, then for the free body diagram if we enlarge the joint E, then each member having the force going outside of the joint, so it can take easily for the calculation purpose. At each and every joint the force is at outward direction if we consider the compression in each member. Now point to be remembered is if during the calculation any member is negative, then throughout the analysis we have to consider that force as a negative only without changing its direction. It means that during the calculation, for example any member having the value as a -10, so throughout the calculation that member is taken as a -10, and at the end the value is taken as a 10 kilonewton, and at that location we are going to take tension rather than compression, as we have assumed it is as a compression but the value is negative, hence at that location we are going to use the tension force. Now second point to be remembered is we are going to analyze the truss assuming that the given truss is perfect truss. So first we have to consider the equation m is equal to 2j minus r, and if given truss is satisfied this equation, then and only we are going for the method of joints. Now third point is select a particular joint having only two unknown member forces. So first step is to select any joint, but it must have maximum two unknown force. Now after selecting first joint, we have to select at least n-1 joints to solve wall truss. It means that if numbers of joint as a 8, then we have to consider at least 7 different joints to analyze full truss for the calculation of each member forces. And the last point is, at the end of the analysis, we have to make a tabular form having each member's force with its nature. It means either it is in compression or it is in tension. So these are the points to be remembered while the analysis of any types of truss. Thank you.